Hello Forge members and welcome to this tutorial Thursday. Earlier this week I sent out an email to everyone titled The Best Platform for Software Freelancing, and to my surprise a lot of you guys actually signed up with the referral link that I left in the description. Now after talking with some of the members of the Forge, it came to my attention that a lot of students actually want to know how to make money freelancing as a software developer. So in this video I'm going to show you why you should freelance, what holds most students back from freelancing, and the best platforms to do it on. Now it's no surprise a lot of people want to work as a freelance software developer when you have a lot of success stories like these, talking about how people have made $10,000 in a single month or how they make over $100K a year just working on freelance sites. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of opportunity to make a ton of money on freelance sites, but you shouldn't go in with your expectations too high. You have to understand a lot of these sites can be a bit oversaturated and making money can get a bit hard. That being said, there is still a huge market for you to get in there and make a lot of money and pay off those student loans. Now the second reason, the one that I think is a lot more enticing, is the fact that you get real world experience. When you're in school and you're doing projects, or when you go to hackathons and you do for fun projects, you don't quite get the same type of experience that you would on the job or doing work for clients. By freelancing you get to see how interacting with a client works. You get to see how code, when put in a real environment, reacts and how it works. It gives you a lot of experience that you won't get anywhere else and that you could definitely put on your resume for more opportunities later down the road. Now there are a lot of different problems that arise in a student's mind when they think about freelancing, and one of them could be the fact that you just don't think you're good enough at coding to provide value to anyone that would be willing to pay for it. Now this is a pretty bad mindset to have, because most of the time a lot of jobs on these sites can actually be done if you have a bit of background knowledge in programming and you know how to Google. Essentially what I would recommend doing is simply jumping in, finding a job that you believe you can Google yourself to know, taking the job on and learning as you go. Worst case scenario, you're not able to do it, you refund the client that you're working with and you move on and you learn from the experience. Don't let not knowing how to do something prevent you from doing it, because the only way you're going to learn how to do it is by putting yourself out there, just jumping in head first and getting it done. Another way people love to overwhelm themselves about freelancing is the idea that there's just so much competition. If you go into OffWork and you search anything, you'll find that there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of developers to choose from. Now that's not as big of a problem as you might think, because jobs are so in abundance that not everyone is on the platform at the same time, which means you can apply to jobs spontaneously that a lot of people might not see, and you might be the first one to apply and they might like your proposal more. There are also tons of ways you can make your profile standing out by using specific languages, the way you propose your ideas to people, your photos. There are a lot of different things you can customize to make your profile stand out. It's also good to know that the more customer centric you are, the easier it is for you to get more clients and please the clients you already have. A lot of people on freelance websites are used to taking on multiple clients a day, and because of that their communication skills might not be the strongest. So use that stuff to your advantage. Don't worry about the competition and just jump in and try to do your best. Don't psych yourself out before you even start. Now one of the great parts of freelancing is, even if you think you might not have a lot of time with school and recruitment seasons coming up, you can choose between the jobs you want, and each job will have its own set time frame. Some jobs will take less than an hour and you'll make 20 bucks off of it, and other jobs will go on for 3 to 4 months and you make a couple $1,000s working part-time on it. You can choose a job that matches your lifestyle and however long you want to work. Now let's look at some of the options you have as a freelancer in terms of platforms that you can post your jobs on. So number one is Fiverr. Fiverr is a pretty popular site and it's known for a lot more than just programming. It specializes in doing very specific tasks for entrepreneurs and small businesses. For example, in the programming and tech space, if you're really good at WordPress sites or chatbots, this is probably the place for you. You can see here that the person that's buying the service can filter based on price and what they're looking for, and as a freelancer you have a lot of options in terms of your pricing, what you want to deliver, and packages that you can show to your customers. This is really great if you're looking for just some small gigs and you're just starting out. You can build a nice portfolio here, and eventually once you have a pretty big portfolio going on, Fiverr will automatically direct a lot of business your way. As you can see here, there are a lot of reviews for this specific seller, and if you're a good seller and you treat your customers right, you you can really make a lot of side money just having a Fiverr profile without a lot of work. So this is really great if you sort of want something passive, small, and you're really good at a very specific skill. Now the next website we're going to talk about is Freelancer.com. I would sort of recommend staying away from Freelancer if you're a student and you don't have much money to spend, because it can sort of be a pay to win different clients platform. Now Freelancer has almost no barrier to entry, which means there's a lot of competition and a lot of people that may not know what they're doing on this site. Now the key here is if you're just new to the platform, you have to pay to get a lot of different certifications and verifications on their site if you want to stand out to employers, which is the only reason I wouldn't recommend it. There seems to be a lot of jobs that are actively posted here and a lot of freelancers to boot, so I would recommend, if you have a bit of starting capital and you're okay with doing different credentials tests and stuff like that, maybe checking Freelancer out, but I still think there are a lot of better alternatives out there if you're just getting started. Here is OffWork. It is probably one of the most popular freelance sites, especially for developers, and the one that a lot of people get the most work on. I have personally done a lot of work on OffWork, and I've hired people to do a lot of work on OffWork for me, and I can safely say it is one of my favorite platforms to go with. You can see here that even though there are a lot of different developers, you can set your own rate, and you can see that a lot of people have earned a lot of money on it. Now, it's very easy to search through different jobs with different tags, so if you specialize in, say for example, building chatbots, or you specialize in maybe PHP, you can find specific jobs that were just recently posted that deal with those few things. Now Upwork heavily relies on grabbing jobs as soon as they're posted, so being fast and being on the platform is sort of a big plus if you have a lot of time to spend. Upwork has some great profile features that can really help you stand out, such as a full description of what you've done, how many hours you've worked on the site, jobs you've taken on, money you've earned, and your average rate. You can also see a bunch of jobs that you've done in the past, as well as different reviews from different employers, and at the very bottom you can see they also have a couple of tests you can take that are obviously paid and that will differentiate you from a lot of different freelancers. Now it's not to say that you need a fancy ballin' out of control profile to get some jobs here. In fact, when I was doing freelance work when I was a student, I was able to get a lot of jobs off Upwork with a very minimal profile. There are a lot of different jobs here from big to small, so you get to choose what you're looking for, and you can choose the time range you're looking for as well. I highly recommend, if you're just getting started, look on Upwork, find some jobs that you think you might be able to do with a bit of research, and when you get the job, just Google your way to completion, and it's no worries if you can't finish it. Now next on the list is Guru. It's a bit different from Upwork in the sense that there are a bit less jobs, and the jobs that are posted are a bit more long-term, a bit more expensive, and a bit more legit, but I do love it because of how easy it is to find different things that you might be able for. For example, if I were to search up chatbot in the search box, I can find a ton of different jobs incorporating chatbots that are willing to pay a good amount. This is really good if you're pretty proficient with a single thing like making WordPress sites or chatbots, and you're used to getting paid a lot, or you have a small consulting team with you. This is good for building relationships with bigger businesses, and I really do think that it's sort of the next level when it comes to freelancing and consulting. Now the next platform I want to talk about is one of the most prestigious freelancer platforms out there, but also one of my most favorite, and that is TopTal, aka Top Talent. Now their whole thing is they only hire the top 3% of freelance talent and outsource it to the companies that work with them. And they work with pretty big companies like Airbnb, Zendesk, etc, etc. Now they started off with only developers, but they now hire freelancers in the design space, the PM space, the financial expert space, as well as still the developer space. So the interview process is a pretty hard one. It's a 4-step interview process that takes approximately a month, but once you're in the program, you're in it for life, and you get access to not only a giant community of other freelancers from all around the world that have years and years of experience, but you also have a top selection of companies that you can freelance with for different jobs that they have. Now these jobs could be up to a week long, or up to a couple months long, or a whole full-time commitment. So if you're someone that recently graduated and you're maybe looking to live that digital nomad lifestyle, or you want to get some of the top experience that is out there working with top companies, I highly recommend trying and applying to TopTal. And don't worry if you don't get in instantly, you can always try again a couple months later. Now they also have a huge community around them. They have a whole blog experience where you can write blogs for TopTal that employers would see, and it gets ranked highly on Google. For example, I wrote this one on Twitter data mining, and a lot of people ended up seeing it, and I got a couple of different companies contacting me to do work for them within this space. Now, they also have a really cool feature that I like, and that is the resume feature. So as you can see here, when I signed up for TopTal, I had to give them a whole bunch of information on what I've done in the past, etc, etc, etc. This isn't currently updated, but this actually, if you were to Google my name, ranks pretty high, and I think it's a huge bonus if employers were to Google your name and they come across and they see something like this. So I know I sent out that email a bit ago applying to TopTal, but if you guys want to apply, I will put another link in the description below, and it will be my referral link. So if you sign up and you successfully get a job with a company later down the line, whenever you want to, then we both get a bonus. And another reason I really like this is because you can set your hours. So I wasn't looking for work after I got my job in California, so I completely stopped. I took my profile off TopTal so no employers can find it. And if you're looking for work, you can add on how many hours you want, and you can specify exactly your rate. And most of the people on TopTal, because they're so acclaimed, charge pretty high, which is another big plus. So I definitely recommend, if you're not too confident in your abilities right now, trying to build up your portfolio. That way you can eventually get into TopTal. But I really do think this is like the pinnacle when it comes to freelance development and living that nomad lifestyle as a software engineer. There you have it, guys. I hope you found value in this video, and if I had to give you one piece of advice to leave this video with, it would be just jump straight into it. Even if you feel like you don't know what you're doing or you don't have the experience you need, jump straight into it and learn as you go. And if you really like this video and you feel like this whole lifestyle of working wherever you want, however long you want, for however much you want, then you might want to check out the digital nomad lifestyle. I'll leave a quick link to that below and you can check it out, and if that's something that you're interested in, you should definitely look more into it and start setting your life up for success. So I'll see you guys next week, and thanks for tuning in.